Alright fellas, here we are back in Pokemon Masters, and today we're taking a look here at the April 2024 data mine kits, as in all of the details for some of the characters. So this is going to be split into two parts. This part I will be going over Volo, Jacq, Lodge Volo, as well as, I could do the power boosts. I'll look at the EX. Should I? Nah. You know what, nah, fine. This part's only going to go over Jacq, Volo, and Lodge Volo. Next part will cover everything else with Barry, Celine, as well as the power boosts and EX rolls and whatnot. So, yeah. First of all, I want to say, this month is fucking baby month, bro. Like, look at all of this. I mean, we get Volo and Jacq here, that's cool. The beginning of the month's fine, we get some good events. But then once you get to, like, the 5th, it really starts petering out. No new banners until the 12th, which is fine, right? I'm not going to complain about no new banners, especially because we get one every other day. We only get the event for Team Plasma and the Ultimate Battle for Lucy in the Stadium with Red. And then we obviously get the stuff for Celine and Barry, right, with their special costume event. And then for another 6 days, there's nothing until the rerun of the Kanto event, which is already not really fantastic. And then you get part 2 of the Kanto event, and then the Blissful Bonanza, which is surprising. Yay, finally. And that's pretty much it. And then Pokemon Masters Day. So there's not really a lot this month, and the gem count is also really low. 19,000 gems. That is horrible. Like, that is absolutely horrible. I personally think they should have added in some more filler events, like some rerun events at least, or something, just to fill in the gem count, right? And maybe a legendary arena mission. We haven't seen those in a while, like over a year at this point, I think. But whatever, either way, 19,000 gems is not fantastic. Whatever. Let's go ahead and look at the kits. So we're gonna start with Volo, then we'll go to Jacq, then we'll finish off with Lodge Volo. Okay. So, as we know, Volo is a field sync pair with a Tech EX roll. We knew this from the dev letter and the trailer last night. He's Fairy, he's weak to Steel. He drops on March 29th, leaves April 18th. Pretty much 3 weeks to pull this guy. That's good. Gonna say it, if I don't pull this guy within the 12 multis I have available to pull him, I'm not gonna worry about buying gems. I love Volo. He's literally the character that I and probably a lot of people have wanted in the game since Legends Arceus, and I'm just gonna do dailies. I'm gonna do dailies, and if I don't get them by the end of here, then we'll figure that out. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I don't know, but whatever. I'm just gonna let you know that. He's Fairy Center of Knowledgeable Researcher. Figures, and his stats here. Okay. 655 health, 336 attack, 336 special attack, 188 in defenses, 268 speed. It's fine, I guess. If we look at 6-star EX, he gets up to 376 in the offenses, which is good. EX roll 400 basically, level 150. That's fine. Those are fine offenses. Okay, nothing crazy, but they're fine. Looking at the moves, he's got Dazzling Gleam. Wow. Okay, Sinnoh Solidarity, which is a 2-gauge. It's his Sinnoh Circle move. Increases physical and special moves next of all allies by 1. Applies to Sinnoh Circle defensive. It powers up moves of all allies by 5%. Reduces damage by 10%. More Sinnoh allies on the field, the higher the percentages. For a maximum of 20% power up and 25% damage reduction. That's fine, I guess. I don't really have a complaint with that. He's got This Is an Investment. The trainer move raises an ally's attack and special attack by 4 and an ally's crit by 3. That is really good if you want to put this guy in the supportive role. If those defenses are not too bad, his HP's fine. He could be not a tank, but he could act as a supportive type of character with this ability, and obviously setting damage reduction with the Sinnoh Solidarity circle. And then he's got Masterful Metronome. 1 gauge targets an opponent. When the user uses any move once, deactivation conditions when the move is used, so it can't be spammed, unfortunately. Uses one of several moves at random. With some exceptions, the user will use a move other than Metronome. Activates one of several additional effects at random. Increases the physical moves up next and special moves up next of all allies by 1. Okay. Looking at the abilities. These are all at the same chance. Move gauge acceleration, damage reduction, crit defense, stat reduction defense, status condition defense. And the moves he can use are Giga Impact, Hyper Beam, Blast Burn, Inferno, Hydro Cannon, Frenzy Plant, Zap Cannon, Dynamic Punch, Gunk Shot, and Mega Horn. Only thing that I'm not really too big on with this is that, for one, it's not spammable, which I think it just should be, because so far his kit's not that crazy. It's fine, it's good, but it's not that crazy. I think it should be spammable, and I also don't like that these moves are split, because it's got physical moves, he's got special moves, which is just very inconsistent. Obviously, like, already having to deal with random moves is not fun, but now you're also having to deal with using moves that are of different categories, so physical and special, which can be very annoying for Stadium specifically. But I mean, I guess that's fine. Let's hope we can't miss, because Dynamic Punch is not great on accuracy, and Zap Cannon, and Inferno. Wow. Peak Curiosity, moves never miss. Alright, we're good. When the user uses normal type attacks, those become fairy type attacks. Turns the field of play into Fairy Zone the first time the user's Pokemon uses a status move each battle. Fairy Zone powers up fairy attacks. So once he uses Metronome, he sets Fairy Zone, and he also gets his Giga Impact and Hyper Beam become fairy type. Sure. Okay, so he's able to set Fairy Zone? Sure. And, okay, fine. Business Opportunity lowers one of the target's following stats by 1 stat rank at random when the user's attack move is, against it is successful. Okay. One of random core stats. Charges gauge when its attack move hits. Okay. So he lowers one stat at random with AoE with Dazzling Gleam, single target with Masterful Metronome, and he charges gauge. Sure. Circle. Team sync move up 3 powers up sync moves of all ally field to play when the circle applies to the ally field to play. Okay, so he's got 30% power up to ally sync moves. That's not bad. Okay. 1 out of 5 grid, unflappable. Sure, of course. Okay, he doesn't look crazy, but I mean, he looks good. He's very, very weird, for sure. The only thing that I wish, the dude should have been a support. The dude should have been a support, and all these abilities should have been supportive abilities, like Swords Dance, Calm Mind, Agility, something like that, right? And like give team buffer or something where he can raise random stats and whatnot. That'd been a lot better. The physical and special moves next buffing is good, especially combined with Sin of Solidarity, because the way you can work him is you can use his trainer move on him or an ally, whatever, however you want to use him as supportive or damage dealing. Use Sin of Solidarity. Use Masterful Metronome. Probably use Sin of Solidarity again, and then use Masterful Metronome again, and in shorter battles, that's actually going to end up being pretty effective, because you don't get any physical moves next from this, special physical moves next, we'll say moves next, right? You don't get moves next from this, you get +2 moves, you get moves next from this, moves next, you get +3 stacks of special and physical moves next from using these abilities in conjunction with each other, and then of course you can use Masterful Metronome again after using Sin of Solidarity, so you got +4, right? So in that sense, he can be very good in that supportive role, and then of course he's powering up ally sync moves by 30%, he's doing random debuffing, and he's also of course setting Fairy Zone, which of course he also does with his sync move being a Fairy sync pair, or Fairy field sync pair, so that's not too bad. He doesn't have any effects. Okay, well, he's weird. That's all I can really say is that he's weird. His damage is going to be inconsistent, just to be blunt, because like he's got a 2 out of 10 chance. He's got a 1 out of 5 chance to plus Fissure. I don't know if Fissure is even in here. Maybe. Either way, he's got a 1 out of 5 chance of landing a Fairy move that's then boosted by his field, Fairy Field, Fairy Zone, right? I don't know. I mean, he's definitely a sync pair that you're going to have to, like, think about how to use. It's not like a support where their role is like, oh, we're just going to have hyper buff offenses or hyper buff defenses or, you know, do buffing or whatever. It's not like a striker where you're just doing damage. He's a character that can do a lot. He can do supportive abilities with his physical and special moves next buffing and the Sinnoh Circle, and his trainer move is able to target an ally. He's also able to do damage with the Masterful Metronome, however inconsistent that may be. He's able to debuff with Dazzling Gleam and Metronome, right, with the passive here. Good gauge efficiency, set Fairy Zone, power up ally sync moves. He's got a lot he can do, and it's just really weird looking. Looking at the grid, 2 out of 5, Gobsmack 4, sync regen. Okay. Not super effective moves up to. Powers up moves that are not super effective. They learned their lesson with the Palatine's Elisa brother. That's funny. Whimsical acceleration, circle move gauge up, charge, circle attack move damage reduction, reducing damage when in a circle. Okay, hold on, Gobsmack. Okay, this this is so fucking funny. And buddy move NPR. Okay, I actually don't mind his 2 out of 5 that much. I probably wouldn't get it for shits and giggles anyway, but you can get some good damage reduction with the 20% damage reduction here for having Circle up. Plus, obviously, you get the innate Circle damage reduction abilities, so that's double damage reduction. Sync regen for healing, gauge up, whimsical acceleration. Both of these are gauge abilities. He helps out with that. He can do a little bit of damage, I guess. And Gobsmack right for confusion, the basic stuff. I would say this is not a crazy grid, but I do like this node. So, Trying move NPR can be good if you want to support another character or himself, right? And then not super effective moves up to 20% buff to 8 of your 10 moves, right? Assuming you're not hitting fairy weak, so I guess, like, depending on what it's like 9 out of 10. Either way, whatever. 3 out of 5, he gets Brain Sync 5, Super Duper Effective 5, that's not good. Sync Free For All, Overwhelm 9, Okay, Overwhelm 9 is not bad. Sync Node, Sync Free For All. Trying to move, attack and special. Raising the user's attack and special attack by 1 when the trainer uses a move. Okay, soften up 1. Sinnoh Circle, Defensive Extension, and Snickering. Satisfied Snicker 9. Snickering 9. Okay. This is weird. Why? I mean, sure, but why? And also, this is fairy type, right? He gets a power up on this. He gets a power up from this. He gets a power up from this. So if his move's super effective, it does even more damage. If his move's not super effective, it does a little bit less, but still some damage. Circle Extension's really good. That's pretty much a must pick up in my opinion. Satisfied Snicker and Overwhelm 9 is good with in conjunction with his double debuffing. Plus, I know he has Unfortuitous as a lucky skill for him, one of those new lucky skill things. I don't know if it's in here. I don't think so, no. Oh, custom lucky cookies. Okay, so it does have custom lucky cookies. I just don't know where they are. Would it be anywhere in anywhere specific? Or okay, none of their lucky skill. Okay, fine, sure, whatever. I don't know where to look for those. Whatever. Either way, I'm pretty sure it's Unfortuitous 4, I think. So you have a 50% chance at random debuffing. Okay. His kit's so weird. Why? He's got debuffing here, he's got debuffing here, he's got debuffing here, he's got debuffing from Unfortuitous 9, so he's gonna be very good for debuffing, right? And I can see Sundering 9, I'm not blind, so he's got defensive debuffing there as well. His nuke. Yup, that sure is a nuke. I would never nuke with this. They made his field sync just not worth doing. The biggest problem with this guy is his EX roll. If his EX roll was support, this would not be nearly as bad to actually like try and use his sync move for. But the fact that he is not support and is instead tech actually is a hindrance. Okay. DNA don't design flawed kits challenge, impossible. I'm very certain his kit is this weird simply for the fact that he is a popular character and they know people will summon for him regardless. Sync Free For All, he gets the gate. This is not really that useful. Super Direct, I'm just going to take these out at this point because I don't think they're that useful. I think you're going to find more use in his supportive abilities despite the fact that he is not a support and he doesn't have support X roll. Raising attack, I don't think this is that helpful. Soften up 1, I don't think that's that helpful because you're not even going to use your sync move that much anyway. Brain Sync, I don't think that's helpful. I think this is probably his most useful stuff. Literally Overwhelm plus the Satisfied Snicker, I think is his most useful nodes. I think this is probably what you're most likely to want to pick up. Maybe not Train Move NPR. If you don't want to pick up Train Move NPR, figure out something else you want to pick up, probably. I don't know, man. Whatever. 4 out of 5, he gets... okay. When the user's move targeting an ally is successful, 100% chance of raising the physical moves next and special moves next of the affected ally by 1. So if you use it on himself, he gets +1 physical and special moves next. If you use it on an ally, they get +1 physical and special moves next. He also gets Head Start 1 for Sync Countdown, not too bad. 5 out of 5, he gets Fairy Zone teamed attack move damage reduction, and then Sundering 9. This is where his nodes are actually getting a lot better, because now he's got a lot of damage reduction. He's got damage reduction from the Sinnoh Circle itself, right? He's got debuffing offenses with Overwhelm 9 and Satisfied Snicker, and his random debuffing from his passive. He's also got the damage reduction from having Circle up, and then he's also now got Fairy Zone damage reduction. Biggest problem with this is that you have to have Fairy Zone up, which he doesn't extend Fairy Zone outside of the Sync move, which if you use a Sync move, you're getting a very underpowered Sync move, because it only has one 50% multiplier, and I guess Tech EX, if you do, you give him the X roll. I don't care if he's 450 base power, a 50% power Sync move, 70% if you give him Crit Strike 2, ain't all that crazy. Just being honest. Okay, fine, what, 500 power Sync move? It's still, no, I'm sorry, but it's still not enough. Moral of the story, his kid's fucking weird. That's the moral of the story. There's a lot you could honestly want to pick up for this guy, realistically speaking. Like, the damage reduction abilities are helpful, immensely helpful. His debuffing abilities are useful, right? It just really depends how you want to use them. His kit is so unbelievably weird. And flawed. We'll say that. We'll say flawed, too. Sure, man. Yeah, this is what happens when you give Togepi to a Sync pair, right? This is why I didn't want Volo and Togepi. That probably would have been the same if it was Togekiss. I didn't want that either, but still. Point stands. Yeah, he's flawed in about every regard. He doesn't extend Fairy Zone. He sets it once outside of that, which is not extended. His Sync move is underpowered, meaning it's not even worth it to do it for the Fairy Zone, which means you cannot pick this up, or you cannot reliably make abuse of this, unless you bring another Fairy Zone setting Sync pair. Which is what, Signature Wally, still have the Egg Sylveon. I know there's another one that I can't immediately think of off the top of my head. May as well look it up, because I know I'm going to feel stupid right afterwards. Yeah, Signature Muna, right? Okay. Unless you want to pair him with Signature Mina or Wally or whatever. Which, sure, you can do that if you want to. I don't know how effective that would be, but you can. He has the ability to be supportive, but half of his damage reduction abilities with the Fairy Zone tanking here is not that great, meaning that honestly, 5 out of 5 outside of Thundering is probably not worth picking up. I don't know. He's got a lot of good debuffing, though. I do like his debuffing. He's got Sundering 9, Overwhelm 9, and Satisfied Snicker 9, which effectively is making him Neo Champion Leaf with her AoE Leer debuffing, right? So honestly, I can't get too mad at that specifically, because that is actually really good. And he got supportive abilities. Fine. And he gets physical and special moves next. He looks like he's going to be really good for short battles. For short battles, you can put him on the team, give him the damage reduction from Circle. I don't know how you're going to make that grid work. Right there, that's how you'll make it work. It's not too bad, actually. You can do that. I want that, yeah. You can pick up something like this, make him very supportive. He's got damage reduction. He can work as a small-term tank. Give allies physical and special moves next. Debuff all of the enemy stats. That's not too bad. I don't know why they didn't give him power play, but they didn't. Either way, whatever. He's very gimmicky and weird, but he can be good. I'll say that. Sure, whatever. So we go on to Jacq. Jacq, will I be less disappointed in you? Maybe. We'll see. Psychic Paldea, Knowledgeable, Gadgeteer, and Free Spirit. He's a tech with the support EX roll. Maybe swap him and Volo's EX rolls. I know Volo has tech. Yes, give Jacq double tech. I do not care. Pokefarer, 31st to April 18th. Same thing. Pretty much 2.5 weeks now. He's got 468 special attack. That's good. 172 in both defenses. 710 health. Let's go ahead. Look here. 500 special attack, 352 speed, 212 defenses. Yeah, that's not too bad. And then support Electro helps out defenses. Okay. Sure. He's got Twin Beam. Wow, that's really weak. I was kind of expecting like a DPS option. Text twice in a row. It's 60 power, effectively. 50 power, basically. Lumberry, three uses, restores status conditions from an ally. Churn move, if the user stats are raised, the amount increases doubled. Applies gradual healing to the user. Applies super effective next. Experimental stored power 2 gauge. 150 power. Activation conditions when stats are raised a total of 10 ranks or more. Deactivation condition is when it is 9 or less. The move never misses, except in circumstances. Attacks with this successful hits with this attack become crits. The more the user's stats are raised, the greater the power of this attack. Removes all stat increases. Yeah, we knew that. He's basically like, he builds up all of his stats, uses a nuclear stored power, and then immediately loses all that stat, and then you have to do it all over again. Which, is that good? Is that bad? Well, obviously it's not good, but like it could not be detrimental too at the same time. Jacq's lesson reduces MP by 1 for the user's moves that have the berry effect tag and raises its attack and special defense by 2 stat ranks when its attack move is successful. So effect... Huh? Okay, I get it, but that... Okay, you're basically making Lumberry useless. I got it. Sync move, restore berry MP, restore MP of the berry move after sync move. After the sync move, sure, so that just makes it so his buffing is faster now. Strike stat up to 9, randomly raises when the user's following stats by 2 ranks at random when its attack move hits. If the move has a multi-strike effect, raises one of the following stats by 2 ranks for each hit. Okay, so every turn he is buffing, so he gets +4 stats from this, he gets +4 from this, so he gets +8 every single turn. So after 2 turns, he gets +16 and he can use stored power. Sure, and then uses the sync move, which more stats are raised the greater the power of this attack. Okay, so you want to do Twin Beam, probably Trainer move, Sync Nuke, Experimental Stored Power. That's kind of what I'm thinking. That doesn't look too bad. In base, that doesn't look too bad. It really just depends on what his multipliers are for the buddy move here, but that doesn't sound too bad, I'm being honest. Is it like outstanding? I don't know. Again, it just depends on the multipliers. 120% total multiplier here is not bad, especially again with the Techie X roll. Also support, right, means that you do want to sync with him anyway, so that's not too bad there. And then you still get the stored power, right? Yeah, that's not too bad. Honestly, it isn't too bad. It's gimmicky too, but not as gimmicky as Volo. 1 out of 5 grid's nothing. 2 out of 5 grid. Super duper effective 9, I'm sure, buddy. Precision 1. Super duper effective 3. I don't even know. Special attack 10. Okay, this is a very bad 2 out of 5. Only thing is precision 1, which is effectively just acting as another buff. That's basically it. Precision. Yeah, he doesn't even buff crit at all, so having these DPS nodes for Twin Beam is not really that helpful. Yeah, and that's also a thing for his nuke. You're going to have to bring a crit support. If you're going to nuke with him, you're going to have to bring a crit support. He should have had innate crits guaranteed, not just on the buddy move. Jacq's lesson, literally just add all attacks become crits on that. I think that would have been just better. Unless he's got a way to buff crit. Otherwise. Stacking Strike, there it is. Raises crit when the attack move hits. Okay, that's something good to pick up for self-sufficiency if you don't want to bring a crit support. That's not bad. Raises crit by 1 for each time his move hits. You know, up to 2 times from Twin Beam, right? It's good. Rising Tide. Okay, yeah, double Rising Tide. That's gonna be a really good nuke. That's not bad for sure. Vigilance. He's not a tank. Unfortunate Strike 9. Randomly debuffs. I guess it can be good. It's only 2 debuffs, but still it could be decent. Trainer Sync Redemption 1 restores 1 MP to the trainer move the first time a sync move is used each battle. I don't think that's necessary. Fine. Adrenaline 1, sync nodes. Twin Beam Flinch, Strike Flinch 1. 20% chance to make the target flinch, 20% for each hit. It's like a 30% if we average. And then Sync Damage Guard. I mean, that's fine. Rising Tide's good, 100%, 240% total nuking multipliers, plus the sync nodes and whatnot. That's good. Plus his 500 special attack stat. He's going to have a good nuke. He's going to have a good nuke for sure. And he's going to have a good nuclear DPS with stored power. Unfortunate Strike, I mean, that's just random. I don't like that. Not really that much. It's just 2 random debuffs. It could be double special defense, which would be really helpful, or it could just be like fucking accuracy and defense, which he doesn't use defense debuffing, so like that you're really taking a gamble there. I would pick up both of these up for sure. Sword Power Move Gauge Refresher. Flinch, this is like a 30% chance to flinch on Twin Beam, but I mean, you are going to spam Twin Beam for most of the battle, a majority of the time, so I mean, that could be good to pick up. And then Sync Damage Guard, Trainer Sync Redemption, Adrenaline 1, these are not bad abilities in their own right, but like, I also just don't think these abilities are all that necessary for what he wants to do. Like, Training Move NPR, It could be great, sure. Like if you want to just double your stats, get your buddy move quicker, you can. But honestly, I just don't feel it's really that worth it because you already have 2 uses out of it. Maybe just pick up. He doesn't have training with NPR because they directly wanted to make this ability look good, but I don't think it's that good. Adrenaline 1's obviously good for sync countdown. It's always going to be good for sync countdown. So if you do want to pick it up, you can try and go for it. You would just have to probably get rid of the flinch, right? And if you don't want to invest extra grid energy into him, oh wait, no, just get rid of Unfortunate Strike. Yeah, just get rid of Unfortunate Strike. Invest the extra +2 grid energy and just get this. If anything, just get this. Yeah, that's probably his best 3 out of 5 grid, I would say. Flinching, useful, Adrenaline 1. If you don't feel like really investing the energy, just probably drop Adrenaline 1 if you don't really care to get the sync countdown and whatnot. You know, if you want a quad Q or if you just don't care that much, sure. 4 to 5, trying to move Brain Gain, that's not too bad. Soften Up 1, that's not really that useful. In this same setup, yeah, I would probably just do this. Personally, if I were to get Jacq and I would probably just invest the extra grid energy, pick this stuff up. You got this. But again, you can probably just get rid of Adrenaline if you really, really want to, or you can get rid of the flinch if you don't think it's that helpful. Again, it's really just up to your discretion. Either way, there's that, which is helpful. 5 out of 5, you get Strike, special defense down 9. Lower special defense by 1 when the move hits. Okay, so this is basically this, but what we were actually looking for. And then sync stat, 7 stats up, raises attack. Raises all of his stats by 1 after the sync move. So that's 4 stored power. That also could be good. Are they necessary abilities? I don't think so. I mean, the stat raises, that does help him out a decent chunk, but I don't think it's all that necessary to make him look better. That much better, rather. Or make him a lot better. And I also think the special defense debuffing is not necessary, but it does help. It does help. These abilities are actually worthwhile for a 5 out of 5 tile. I just also don't think that they're necessary. But if you are willing to invest in Jacq, going for both of those could be helpful. At this point, I don't know what you would sacrifice, I'm going to be honest, because these are all really good nodes, like all of them are. At this point, I would probably just sacrifice self-sufficiency and bring a crit support. I would say I would do that and then just pick up the 4 energy, right? Which you could do the entire time, right? If you want to go 4 out of 5 or something like that, you could just get rid of that and get Adrenaline, whatever it may be. Sure, that works. 3 out of 5, same thing still. You could just sacrifice the stacking strike if you really wanted to. I think Jacq looks a lot better. Yeah, he looks a lot better than Volo. Or at least a lot more consistent. Because again, Volo's just weird. Yeah, not a bad tech. Good nuke. Cool nuclear DPS. He does lack actual DPS, but I mean, I don't think that's too massive of a hindrance. It's weird that he dropped after the high score event. That's not too bad, though. And we'll finish off with Lodge Volo. Alright, Lodge Volo. Dropping on the same day as Volo. He's not dropping on the 1st or anything like that. He's dropping straight up on March 29th, same day that Volo drops, which is nice. He's with Gibble. He's a ground type. Probably some Cynthia synergy there. Physical strike roll, no EX roll. 4-star, of course, at base. We're going to look at his stats in here. 5-star stats, 381 attack, 137 defenses, 264 speed, whatever. It's about average. 6-star X, 400 attack, and then base, pretty regular stats. Okay, so not bad in the offensive department, for sure. Let's go ahead and look at the abilities here. Okay. So he's got Sandstorm. He's got Sand. 2 gauge, 2 uses, basic. Filled with Curiosity, raises attack by 4 and crit by 2, and raises evasion by 2 in Sand. It's like a Sand Veil ability. Cool. Raises defense, with X defense, bulldoze for DPS, quote unquote. Should have just given him Earthquake. Okay. Sand Blaster, powering up moves in a Sandstorm. Hunter's Instinct, more target speed is lower the greater power of the user's moves. And then Sand Shelter. Okay, so far it's fine for Lodge standards. You know, Hunter's Instinct is not bad. This guy could combine well with Clay if you're going to use like a free-to-play ground setup. Okay, and the grid. Sandstorm NPR, Sandstorm Berserker, Tough Sync 3, Sharp Entry 1, Slow Opponent Sync 3, Bulldoze Trip Up. I don't think he needs Amped Up. Furious Brawn, Surging Sand. Okay. So he's got 30% DPS here, 30% here, 30% here, 20% from Crit Strike 2. So he's got 110% in DPS multipliers with Bulldoze. And for his Sync multiplier, he's got Sandblaster, Tough Sync 3, that's 80%. Slow Opponent Sync, that's 110%. Plus the Crit Strike 2, that's, well, Weathered Warrior. Let's say Weathered Warrior, right? So that's another 10% on top of that. That's 140%. That's 140% for the Nuke. That is 120% for the DPS. Okay. The only thing that I'm having problems with is like how are we going to pick up all this? Because you do want to. I think that he does not want to sacrifice too much. Bulldoze Trip Up. I mean, like this is. I mean, he just wants everything. Even if we don't pick up Stoic, I mean, hell, you could pick up that or try to anyway. Yeah. This guy wants a lot. Just a lot, right? I don't think we're gonna make this work. I'm gonna be honest, fellas. I don't think we're gonna make this work. I think you got to try and probably focus on DPS or nuking with Volo. It's one or the other, which is a lot easier for nuking because he only needs -1 speed debuffs. He only needs 1 defense buff, and then he's got Sandblaster. So the nuke is easier to activate, but the DPS is a little bit harder to activate, but it's still not too bad either. Yeah, you're not picking up everything with Volo. Lodge Volo. For free standards though, I do like him. He looks good. He just looks like like unlike Lodge Skyla, where everything she was wanting was kind of like nice and tight fit, I guess, as well as also in her innate passives here. Volos are not, and also Volo's working with a lot lower DPS option with Bulldoze, 100 power effectively. Okay. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just weird. If we want to run DPS, wow, we've already got everything. Okay. Bad part about that is you do want Trip Up 4 because speed debuffing is slow as dog shit. And the thing is, literally, picking up Sandstorm NPR is cheaper than picking up literally anything else, which is kind of funny. Trying to move Critical Eye, so okay, actually, with this, we don't have to pick up Sharp Entry. Okay, there we go. That's not bad. Okay. We can work with that. That's not too bad. For a DPS option, if you want to run them for DPS, this can work. 30% here, 30% here, 30% here if you max it out, and 30% from Weathered Warrior 3. The obvious making of Volo being ground, I wanted him to be dragon. If this guy ever got Gibble, Garchomp, whatever, I wanted it to be dragon. But they made a ground to work with Cynthia, which is good, because he does work well with Cynthia. He sets sand for her, and if you do pick up a Sandler with Cynthia, you can actually extend that sand, which can be very, very helpful. And then, obviously, you're getting double DPS. You're getting DPS with Cynthia's Earthquake, you can use her Nuke, whatever, and you're getting the DPS from Bulldoze with Volo. I would recommend nuking probably with Cynthia and then DPS with Volo, or, just go support EX and just go DPS with both. Either way, I don't think Lodge Volo is as good. Hold on, I need to think about it. 410 attack, her offense is higher. Brave Bird is better power. Brave Bird also has Furious Brawn, plus if this moves next. More effective, less effective self-sufficiency. I still think I like Skyla better than Volo because Skyla is easier to use, but Volo's not bad to use either. He does have to kind of worry about sand. If you're not running him with one of those unanimous sand extenders like Variety Giovanni, Cynthia, Palos, Neo Champion Silver, if you're not running him with like one of those characters, then you're probably going to be struggling to go between using your trainer move, your X defense, if you're going to go for the tough sync and whatnot. Your sand and your Bulldoze, you're going to kind of have some problems there because of sand running out. But if you are running him with one of those extenders, then you're going to be working a lot better. That is one thing with Skyla you don't have to really worry about, is having to set the weather. More so, that is a problem with ground units. You could also run him with Ingo to pretty decent effect as well. That's not too bad for a free-to-play standard, or, well, not free to play, but a free character alongside getting Volo and Togepi. That's not too bad. That's not actually too bad. I can't be too upset with that. Okay, sure. That's awesome. Not a bad free-to-play character. Definitely cooked. Not like the same person who made Jasmine. and I do think he is probably better than Volkner, but Volkner's a tech, so I guess there's no real comparison there. But Volkner's like basically a tech in a striker body, or like a striker in a tech body. So, yeah. Anyway, it's funny to see the color change. Oh, they're inverted. Oh, that's what that is. Yeah, I didn't notice that. Okay, that's cool. Sure, cool. Anyway, whatever. That's the overview for characters in part 1. In conjunction, or conclusion, Volo is weird. Jacq is also a little bit weird, but not bad. He's still pretty strong. And Lodge Volo is strong for free-to-play standards, and that's all I gotta say. So, yeah. I'll see you all later. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you all in the next bit for the special costume showcase, or not showcase, overview, as well as all the free-to-play power-up stuff, like the EX rolls and grid expansions and whatnot. So, yeah. I'll see you all over there. I hope you all enjoyed.